Good morning, students. I am Dr.R.SUGANYA, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science with Cybersecurity. Today I am going to talk about tactics of the military. So we know the military is the one which protects our country, and there will be some many attacks, direct attacks on the enemy's positions. So attacking the enemy from two or more sides simultaneously, we know that it becomes a very great thing that has been doing for our country. So occupying a strategic um tactics to repel the enemy attacks is very necessary. So let us see on this topic. So the growing reliance on computer networks makes the networks themselves likely sites for attack. So what is more, civilian and military networks are becoming increasingly intertwined. So the US military's focus has shifted from protecting every network to securing mission critical systems. So now we do today's news. We know that Trump is focusing on the border, which to deploy many troops, so to protect their country. So current efforts include like software agent based systems for real time detection and recovery from a cyber attack, and network level early warning systems for monitoring suspicious online activity. As tensions continue to mount in the Middle East because of continued occupation of US forces in Iraq and recent death of Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat, a different sort of pitched battle is being waged behind the scenes, renovating the human machine interface. So, creating inherently secure and robust information technologies for US military is one of the chief aim of the Information Technology System Office at DARPA in Arlington, Virginia. The work at DARPA ITS office is defensive rather than offensive in nature. So they are like the people who worry about seat belts in cars rather than the designers of large fast agent based system. Software agents are defined very broadly, enabling real machine to machine communications, allowing machines to understand the content, send messages, do negotiations, and so on. DARPA Agent Markup Language is a fairly large project to create a next generation web language, a successor to Extensible Markup Language, which is a one, and it's aimed at semantic interoperability to make more words online machine readable. So right now when a machine gets to a web page, it sees natural language, photos, and so on, and none of which are easy for machines to process. Overview of military tactics. So what can be the tactics? The planning, the security and intelligence considerations of military information warfare tactics must be present in all aspects of military information operations development process. So these issues are fundamental to the success of MIWT, that is military information warfare tactics. Planning. So this tactics operation, like most operations, can only be effective when adequate attention is given to overall objective to which they are being applied. So philosophies is needed starting from the development of an achievable goal. So the main objective of planning is to ensure that information operations within the military environment are focused on wider military strategies and therefore the security objectives of the nation. Security. Military operations are most effective when they surprise an enemy, right? The surprise can only be achieved when security procedures deny enemy access to friendly intentions, strategies, and capabilities. This applies to military environment as much it does do any other disciplines of warfare. Intelligence. So intelligence provides the information warfare practitioners with assessments of enemies, ITs, and their likely reactions, both human and machine directed, and following the commencement of an information attack. ITs are dynamic and their configurations can be changed with minimal effort. Offensive, ruinous IW tools and tactics. So, the US military has a new mission, that is, be ready to launch an offensive, ruinous cyber attack against potential adversaries, so some of whom are stockpiling cyber weapons. Offensive containment, IW tools and tactics. Countries like Australia, however, like most non superpower nations of the world, will not be able to commit the substantial resources needed to follow the American model. So there are 5 models of C2W covering both offensive and defensive applications like operation security, military deceptions, psychological operations, electronic warfare, and targeting. Defensive, preventive IW tools and tactics. 8 years after military pioneered intrusion detection system, the DoD now requires its massive network systems to be protected by round-the-clock intrusion detection monitoring to defend against hacker of denial of service attack. So, denial of service attack has developed a policy that mandates the use of intrusion detection systems, that is IDS, in all military networks. Defensive ruinous IW tools and tactics. Information operations has emerged as an area that is extremely well suited to the integration of reserve capabilities. Members of the reserves and national guards are often way ahead because of the very nature of their civilian employment, trained in their workplace to exploit technology. So, although general strategy is in nature, hacking viruses and shipping are the operations that is taking place in support of air, land, or sea operations. And apart from it, we have countering sustained terrorist IW tactics. So, terrorists with all levels, it has its other periods of flux in international environment. So, dealing with random terrorist IW, that is collapse of Soviet bloc and end of its covert funding and encouragement of terrorism led to decline in the militant and violent left-wing terrorist groups that were a feature of the age. Cyberspace is now becoming a new arena of political extremists. There is a potential for physical conflict to be replaced by attacks on information infrastructures, has caused states to rethink their concepts of warfare, threats, and national assets at a time when information is recognized as a national asset. Thank you.